In this video I wanted to talk about coping strategies or coping mechanisms, basically how I deal with stress and anxiety. And in previous videos I've talked about what causes that stress and that anxiety, but I haven't really gone into the coping mechanisms I use to alleviate that stress and anxiety. So depending on the situation, depending on the location, where I am, if I'm at work or at home or I'm out in public, I'll kind of use different strategies to try and reduce my stress or anxiety. So if I'm at work and I'm a little bit stressed, I'll use my noise cancelling headphones. I'll put them on, and just putting them on is cutting out all the noise anyway. But then I'll listen to some forest sounds with instrumental music over the top, just like birds singing, sort of sound of tree branches moving, and some kind of like harp music. Or sounds really cheesy, but I found a few on iTunes that are really good for me. I can put them on, listen to them, and literally within seconds I feel like I'm coming down. After 5 minutes I feel back to normal. I do find that very relaxing, very cathartic, listening to instrumental music and nature sounds, especially bird song. So that's one thing that I do. If I'm out in public on my own, I've normally got my headphones with me anyway, so I'll utilise my headphones then as well. If I'm out and about in public with my partner or family or whatever, it's a bit more difficult to do that. But I have been known to put earplugs in noisy environments, because the background noise of a noisy environment, a restaurant or anywhere where there's a lot of people and there's a lot of background noise, will straight away start causing me anxiety. It just grates with me. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a really weird feeling, but it's like just having that wall of different sounds is very stressful. If you combine that with having conversations with people, then I get really sort of stressed because I can't hear what people are saying. I can't concentrate properly on what people are saying because I can hear all the background noise. If I put the spongy earplugs in my ears, I can still hear what people are saying if they're having a conversation to me. It doesn't block out all the sound, but it blocks out that kind of bandwidth of background noise and hum that lowers my stress level straight away. It means I can concentrate on talking to a person. As long as you remember to moderate your voice volumes, because when you've got earplugs in you tend to talk louder. So I've got into the habit now when I've got them in to talk a little bit quieter, but actual fact that means I'm talking at normal volume. So yeah, I've been known to get the earplugs out. I use earplugs to sleep with as well, for two reasons really. I think one of the reasons I wear earplugs to bed is because I get easily disturbed. I think it's because of my sensory sensitivity. My eyes are really sensitive to light, and I'm sensitive to small noises. And if that wakes me up in the middle of the night, I hear something that wouldn't register for most people, I've woken up, then I've got to get back to sleep. And if that happens 3 or 4 times, then you've got a broken night's sleep. So that's why I like wearing the spongy earplugs to bed, because I don't hear those little sounds, and I tend to get a lot longer periods of sleep, sort of more deep sleep, and that has the effects when I go to bed and I put them in and I'm trying to get to sleep of de-stressing me. I can't hear any little sounds or things going on. I can start winding my brain down. So yeah, earplugs are good. Sunglasses are a good coping mechanism. I tend to wear my glasses whenever I can when I'm outdoors, even like now in the winter. Even though the sun's not facing my direction, it's just too bright for me still, but it has the bonus of being able to hide behind them. They act as a kind of a barrier between me and the world. I feel like I can hide behind them. I think if you could see somebody's eyes, the eyes tell a lot about the emotional state of somebody, and they can tell a lot about the person. So if you cover your eyes up, it's difficult for people to read you, to get, to know whether you're upset or you're happy or you're angry, or stressed. So if I'm getting stressed and anxious, I feel like I'm withdrawing, and I've got this barrier in front of me, which sort of is kind of like an emotional crutch. It helps lower my stress. Other things that I use, I think, for coping mechanisms are trying to get back to the routine as quickly as I can. Whenever I step out of my routine or step out of something that I've planned and I know what I'm going to do, I get stressed, I get anxious. As soon as I can get back to what would have been that day's routine, my stress levels start coming back down. So I suppose in a way I'm always trying to get back to the routine. Whenever I go out somewhere, I don't kind of dwell, or I could always stay longer, I think, but I always want to get back. And when I was younger, not when I was a child, but I've always had this inner overriding urge to get back home as soon as I can. And now I realise that wasn't so much wanting to get home, it was wanting to get back into the routine of being at home and what you do when you're at home. And once I'm back into the routine, I'm less stressed. So that's definitely one major coping mechanism. And I suppose that couples with not trying to avoid changes, trying to avoid going out of my way to change things. Sometimes I'm put in those situations not by my own doing, and sometimes if I'm doing something different, I've got to get back to the routine. So I try and keep to the minimum the amount of times that routine's going to be interrupted. So that's a coping mechanism, because if I'm constantly changing my routine, I'm in a constant state of anxiety. So trying to avoid being put in a position where my routine's got to change is a coping mechanism. So that would be at play when people are trying to make arrangements with me, or going out to meet people or for a meal. I will resist as much as I think I can before I know I'm stepping over the line and being rude. So I will probably do my best to try and not do anything. And it's normally my partner that pushes me to do something outside of the routine. But she knows how it works, because as long as I know I can get back to the routine as soon as I've done this thing, she knows that I'm cool with that. It's when possibly I'm dragged out and do something really random that I don't know when I'm going to be coming back, so I'm getting stressed now because I don't know what time I'm going to be home. So if I do go out and I do change my routine, I kind of need to know a time it's all going to end. I need a time that the routine is going to go back to where it should be. And if I know that, and if that can be kept to, I'm fine. I'm fine for the whole day then. My stress levels are quite low because I know at 6 o'clock my partner said we will leave. And then I know it's half hour to get home, and I know at 6:30 what I'm going to be doing at 6:30. So I can comfortably sit through the whole day knowing the plan. So now I've kind of adjusted the routine and I'm happy with the routine. And as long as people know that if I say I'm going at 6, I'm going at 6, then I can deal with that. And my partner knows that, and she knows it's important for me to know when we go out that there's a plan. And if that changes, there are times when I'm happy, I'm comfortable, I don't mind staying out longer, but they're always now sort of agreed that we're going to stay out a bit longer. Is that okay? It's just giving me warning. That's one of the things I really hate is not knowing what's going to happen, and that causes stress and anxiety. So the coping mechanism, as I said, try and avoid that in the first instance. Try and manage it and plan it and keep it to a minimum. And they're all coping strategies. So have I got any other little coping strategies? I think sometimes when I'm out in public and I feel like my stress levels are getting up, I'll fixate on something. I'll give some little insignificant thing my whole attention, and I'll zone out from try and zone out from everything around me and just concentrate on one single little thing. It can be something as innocuous as just, if I'm in a restaurant, just playing with a napkin, folding a napkin up in a set way and trying to use that to concentrate on, to zone out, to try and get a bit of stress relief. Or it can be anything. It can be like trying to clean my phone or something, in the middle of something, a load of stuff that's going on. There I am, just sort of polishing the screen of my phone and just, I'm doing something like completely mundane and like weird, but it's my way of coping in a stressful situation. So I hope that's been of use. I hope a few people will listen to that and think, that makes sense. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.